Emo Social Club. We're here live at When We Were Young Fest with Rise Against. Could not make this happen in Chicago. Had to come all the way to Vegas to interview a legendary Chicago band out here.
Just a plane ride away.
This, you know, and we had, I'll say it for the interview too. We had talked at Riot Fest because we ran into each other there, and I was like, "Hey, I'd love to have you on the pod." So this manifested pretty well.
Yeah, it all came together, honestly.
I love when
That's all we can ask for.
That's great.
How has you're playing a bit later, so this is like early for you to interview before the set. But we're gonna assume it went great. It was the best set of the weekend.
We'll assume it went great. We'll assume that I convinced Ryan from Yellowcard to come sing with me on stage.
Oh, okay.
I think I've convinced him.
Okay.
And then, it's good to be out here. There's a lot of I'm sure everyone has said this, but it's like serious like Warped Tour vibes out here.
Yeah.
You know, it like feels a lot. I see a lot of the same bands that we played with, you know. So.
I'm like, we're just back here and there's so many people walking around and everyone's giving each other hugs. And I'm like, damn, this really is like what Warped Tour probably felt like.
I used to see a lot of these guys like every summer, you know, like playing Warped Tour. So it was crazy.
Yeah. So also with a lot of things that are going on with Rise Against, you guys are touring. What should we expect music-wise from you guys, if anything?
Yeah, so Nowhere Generation was our 9th album, and then we toured the hell out of that thing.
Yeah.
Took the summer off, and then we've been working on some songs for the 10th album. Just like kind of like slowly dipping our toes in.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to Australia with Blink in February. So we're going to work on some music before we head out to that, and then some music when we get back from that. And so depending on how it all comes out, you know, hopefully we'll be looking at a new record sooner than later.
Oh,
nice.
Mm-hmm. You've opened for like every band that's ever existed too. I was like, you just said Blink. I'm like, I saw you at the Rosemont Horizon open for My Chemical Romance on the Black Parade
we did the
Tour.
Black Parade Tour. We did half of the Black Parade Tour.
Yeah. And I'm like, I've just seen you at like every show. You're like, I mean, Chicago, you're one of the bands that's played every show in Chicago.
We got very lucky that, like, you know, the Foo Fighters invited us on a couple tours. Linkin Park had invited us a couple tours. My Chem, you know, we did the Black Parade with them. We have done a couple shows with Green Day in Europe. This is actually the first time we toured with Blink properly. We've done some festivals with them. So yeah, like that shit is really cool when it works out. You know, when you're on someone's radar and they're like, yeah, we'd like you to come out with us. It's like, oh shit, that's amazing. You know, sounds great.
Do you think, like, my assumption as a fan, as just a guy in the audience, right, is like, this must be like the band's favorite band, right? Like, my chem must be like, I just want to hang out with Rise Against and hear Rise Against set every night, or something like that, right?
Yeah, I imagine if it's probably like us, there's a lot that goes into the decision, but yeah, foremost, you gotta like the people. If you don't like them, they're not getting invited.
Yeah.
Sure, it doesn't matter. So yeah, like they gotta. At some point, you're like, okay, I like those guys, or you might take out a band you never heard, you don't know, but you like their music a lot too.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And then there's obviously like the bands that you see out there are bands that are a headliner might be trying to sell more tickets or whatever. You know, it's got to be somebody that can do that. So if you find that sweet spot, you know, and then they're available. And a band like us, like, honestly, we aren't going to just open up for anybody.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we get invitations that we turn down because it's just like, hey, this isn't really our thing. And so it's got to be the right band for us too, you know, and like Blink is the right band, you know, a band like Green Day is the right band, like Foo Fighters, all those bands, like those tours all made sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You have to make sure it works and it flows and vibes with everything.
Absolutely.
And make sure that like the audience is going to enjoy it. I will say, I think like in 1 year, me and my best friend really loved you guys. So
awesome.
We saw you, I think probably like 5 times in 1 year in Chicago, it feels like.
Oh,
but
amazing.
every time, I feel like it was like every time and I'm like, oh wow, but this is still such a good set. And you guys are just like really ready to go and like always put on your A game.
There were definitely some years where we were just playing all the time, I feel like. Or we were like your good like last minute substitute for something, you know, that we could kind of like get mobilized and go to your show because the band canceled. So yeah, that
was Riot Fest, right?
Yeah, that was a Faith No More canceled, and we had the weekend off, but we were gonna be around Chicago anyway, and so we got the call, and it was like, well, all right,
I guess
You're like, why not? Just for funsies.
Yeah, right. I was like planning on being there anyway, so I was like, bro, let's go play a show.
Just be on the stage instead.
Yeah, right. That was a fun night.
That was like. And I think that was like one of my favorite sets of the weekend. Like me and just my friends like screaming all the words out in the field. I'm like, damn, like I'm glad they're here.
Yeah. That's kind of, we weren't sure if anybody would like, if the word would get out that we were there. You know what I mean? So it was a surprise for us too. We weren't planning on doing it. So it was all very spontaneous.
Yeah. It's you guys and Alkaline Trio that I'm like, you're just at every Chicago
Oh, I
show,
love Alkaline.
every set. I'm like, it's a beautiful thing.
So when is the Rise Against Alkaline Trio super tour gonna happen?
Yeah, that's the tour.
I was just talking about that this morning. I was like, wait, we got to tour with Alkaline again. It's been too long. We've done it before.
Yeah.
We opened for them when we were a lot smaller.
Congress Theater in 2006 or 7.
Oh, really? Where?
I think it was Congress Theater. Yeah.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You were there?
I was in college at the time
No
and
way.
drove like 3 hours to go to just the show and then drove all the way back.
Oh, no way. That's
Yeah.
so cool.
It was, I had to go.
I love Alkaline. So, yeah, you'll see us on a stage together again at some point for sure.
And then you'll just have to throw on plain white tees for an extra measure, just to have the whole entire
Oh,
Chicago
total
tour
Chicago,
all
right?
together.
It's
Absolutely.
perfect.
Yep.
I don't know. The thing about anybody from Chicago is we love talking about Chicago. So it's like, yeah, we came all the way to Vegas to just talk about Chicago the whole time and all of our favorite Chicago bands.
We were just talking about the Punk Rock Museum in Vegas, and Zach did a tour there, and Joe did a tour there. But we were like, these guys need a Chicago wing.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
honestly.
It's so specific.
I'm trying to talk Joe into like helping curate
Yeah.
like a Chicago wing. I think that'd be a good
Just bring
idea.
a little bit over here.
Yeah.
There's so much
Yeah.
history
Even if
here.
it was like temporary, I don't care, like an exhibit, like, but they
Yeah.
need something, yeah.
Like they put temporary exhibits all over in all the
Right.
different museums.
Exactly.
Just throw it
Come
in.
visit for the
Totally.
Chicago wing. It's a limited experience.
Right,
You know?
exactly.
Buy tickets.
And
You're
then they
selling
could
tickets.
rotate it, they could do a different
Yeah.
city or whatever, but like they
Yeah.
gotta do a Chicago one.
I gotta be. It just feels like, I don't know. I'm biased. We're always going to be biased because it's Chicago, but it's
Yeah,
like, no,
absolutely.
we have some of like the top bands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We have
arguably some of the
top
best that
artists,
have come
yeah.
out of the city.
It's a cool scene.
Yeah. And like, well, there's no one can come to Chicago and not be like, I remember playing the Fireside Bowl. It's like everyone's got to say it. And I'm like, I didn't get to go, but everybody talks about it. And I'm sure it was great.
It was
like,
pretty great.
I walk by, I live right by it now. And I'm like,
Oh, nice.
you guys should bring some shows back.
Yeah, I was there like every night almost. It was.
Oh, wow.
I think a big part of who I am because I was just a sponge. I
Yeah.
wanted to see music, and I would just walk in, pay $5, and I didn't care who was playing.
Yeah.
I was just there to like watch people play music, and like I learned so much from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then all these bands have just gone on to be gigantic.
Totally, yeah. I mean, like I saw At the Drive-In play there. Like saw Newfound Glory back, and the Newfound
Yeah.
Glory slept on my floor actually, like after a show a long time ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a cool scene, and it was a special place in Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nowadays too, are there any like newer artists or bands that you really vibe with that maybe you wish you could go and walk in and pay $5 at the Fireside Bowl and see?
Like newer bands?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that's out there that I think is really, I'm loving this new hardcore world of like Turnstile and Knocked
Yes.
Loose
Yeah.
and
Yes.
Incendiary, all that stuff. I love the Joyce Manor, Tiger's Jaw
Yes.
stuff. Like a lot of like, I grew up in like Midwest emo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like
Of
that
course.
throwback, I love hearing bands that sound like that. I'm trying to think of what else. I think that's what I've been listening to like
Yeah.
a little bit more lately. I'm loving Military Gun and Scowl and a sort of band called MS Paint that was kind of pretty amazing. So like, I love what punk and hardcore is doing right now. It's really
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah, it's really cool that a lot more people are getting into it too. Because like Military Gun, I love Military Gun too. So
Yeah.
I was like, and Scowl bangs so
Yeah.
hard.
Totally.
We have a friend of ours, Bo from Harm's Way, has a
Oh, yeah.
hardcore podcast, Hard Lore. I don't want to advertise for other podcasts on our podcast, but I'll do it for
Right.
him. And I just being his friend, I'm like, okay, I'm hearing all these names, and it's like, they had like for a minute there, they were like one of the biggest music podcasts on Spotify, and I'm like, that's insane because hardcore music never used to have this kind of like audience or this culture around it that like invited in more people that like, it was always kind of the thing of like, it's screaming, I don't like it, it's too heavy,
Right,
I don't
right.
like
Yeah.
it. And then like in high school at the time, it was always like the pop punk kids and the emo kids, and it's like, well, it's not as heavy, and we can all listen to it and sing along to it. But hardcore was always just on that fringe, right?
Yeah.
And now it's like, no, it's getting big. Like,
Which is
it's-
crazy. Yeah, hardcore was always like a deal breaker for a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it just was something that people you were into or you weren't, And I feel like I jumped around genres in the 90s because I loved Cap and Jazz as much as I loved
Yes.
Snapcase. You
Yep.
know what I mean? Like I thought that was all great. I wanted more of all of it. I loved the Discord Records stuff of like Kerosene 454 and like Hoover, but I also loved like Face to Face, Sam I Am. You know what I mean? Like, or local Chicago shit like Slapstick and the Bully Bulls. You know, it's good music was good music.
Yeah. So will we see any type of hardcore features on the new any new Rise Against songs?
So we're always trying to sneak it in there. Yeah, if it comes naturally, you definitely will. Because a lot of we all have an affinity for hardcore.
I can cut this if you don't want to talk about it, but how do we get Arma Angelus to come back?
Is anybody demanding that?
I'm demanding it.
Yeah, there's some of us in this very small niche area that are demanding these things that nobody else is asking for in the general public.
I don't know. That's that you got to take it up with those guys.
Yeah.
No,
Here's my deal with Arma is like I was like their fourth bass player. You know what I mean? So like I didn't have a lot of I didn't feel a lot of ownership in that. Well,
Sure.
I was just these are my friends. I loved them. They needed me. That would be something that they would, you know.
That's fair.
Yeah. I don't think I was part of a seminal lineup. I think that if we're bass players, you got to talk to Chris Gutierrez. He took over after me, and he's more. He'll speak to the Arma.
It's that, and
But
then
I would
also
support it. I would support it.
Yeah.
it's that, and then going into the Riot Fest Facebook group and being like, listen, I know we're talking about Op Ivy reunion, but listen, what if?
Right.
Put them on.
Fix that.
Well, yeah. Well, thanks for talking to us. Hope we can do this again
Yeah,
In
for a bit longer
Chicago.
in
I'm glad it's
Chicago.
worked out.
I know,
Yeah.
exactly.
Amazing.
But yeah, thanks for talking
Yeah,
to
thank
us.
you,
and
dude.
Yeah.
We'll be at your set a little bit later, screaming
Yes.
our lungs out. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
we'll see you
Should be
there.
fun.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Awesome,
Dude,
thank you,
appreciate
Tim.
Yeah.
Double fist.
Double
Yeah,
fist
two
the mics. Just get that nice reverb. in.
Nice. Look
Double
at you guys.
I don't know why we do this.
You got the nice gear.
We bring out the nicest gear.
That's right.
We flew out from Chicago with the heaviest things we could bring.
Yeah.
Just to have the best interviews.
Can you do the carry-on?
Yeah.
With a good gear,
no,
right?
these are in my check bag.
Okay.
I was like, no, I'm not lifting
Yeah,
this up
we
into the rack.
usually do a roadcaster, but we're like, we're not bringing that
We're not bringing
all
it
the
up.
way out here
Yeah,
and the
I
whole
checked,
thing with it.
I check my luggage, but I carry on my amp and my violin.
Yes.
Like I can't.
No, that's very
Just doesn't
fair.
leave my-
I carried on the
Oh,
Zoom
yeah.
because
Oh
I'm
my
like, I'm
God.
not
Very
playing
responsible
around.
of
That's
you.
the
Very
thing.
responsible.
When we were young, we're here, we're live, we're Emo Social Club, and we're here with Yellowcard, with Sean.
Howdy. How y'all doing?
We're doing
Good,
great.
how are you?
Very good, thank you.
Yeah, welcome to the pod. Oh no, we're like, how the fuck do we talk to Yellowcard, right?
It's pretty easy, actually.
I mean, yeah.
I'm kind of open book. I get myself in trouble.
Oh no.
Good. This is the pod to
There
listen
we
to.
go.
then.
Let's
So now
go,
here's
let's
the
go.
thing. What happened on the most recent Yellowcard tour that we did see you in Chicago?
Lots of good stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, arguably the biggest Yellowcard tour ever.
Yeah.
Celebrating a reunion and 20-year anniversary of our biggest record.
Yeah.
I think we're so focused on making sure, and we're pretty like performance first guys.
Yeah.
Like, and so we want to make sure that it was like we're trying to be dialed every day. So
Yeah.
get some good rest, not too much trouble. Had some nice dinners, some good family dinners.
There
Hell
you
yeah.
go.
Yeah.
It was just like, I mean, it felt a little bit like this kind of a festival where you just had a bunch of the bands out, like, it's a really good lineup of like the Warped Tour style stuff going on, and
Thank you. I
felt
get
great.
I get very little credit for that. I put both Mayday and Story of the Year on a list, and Amberlin, with hopes that they would say yes, and
Yeah.
that it worked out. And it was just like there were a couple of things that we were like, we want to have fun. We want to make sure that our fans know how grateful we are for this sort of second or third life, whatever you want to call it, for
Yeah.
Yellowcard. But really, like, we want to just celebrate being out with our friends. Sometimes we were asked to do a tour, we would do some opportunities that were like felt really business oriented.
Okay.
yeah.
And like this year just felt awesome. It just felt like we want to connect with people that look out for our band, or that listen to our band, that, you know, send songs to other people and they're sharing it, and then just friends and singing, like listening to other good songs and songs
Yeah.
that we, you know, grew up listening to. So mission accomplished. It was pretty awesome.
True. I mean, that's this fest too, right? It's just like all the bands we listened to in high school, all the bands on Warped Tour, do it again.
Yeah, it was awesome. So we're very grateful. Thank you to Mayday and Amberlin and Story of the Year and This Wild Life for the newer edition, but they were awesome.
Yeah.
So obviously you put out new music too. There's the old album, The Ocean Avenue,
Yeah.
always a classic. But you put out new music too. That just came out
Yeah.
earlier this year. How's the reception been? Are you How's those songs go?
It's pretty awesome. Thank you. Surprise, everyone. In 2016, 2017, when we said, hey, it's time to kind of wrap up Yellowcard Shop, we have a great group of fans that are supporting us, but as we're getting older, it was just growing more and more difficult to tour. And one of the things about trying to celebrate Ocean Avenue, and at first it was just Riot Fest last year, and then it turned into a tour, and now it looks like we have more things planned for 24 and beyond. So it's really exciting to get to play music with my friends again. But one of the things that we talked about, we're like, hey, let's blow some people's minds. Let's write some songs that embody Yellowcard. It was the first time that we wrote Yellowcard songs that we thought we'd never play.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're like, we don't ever think we're gonna have to play these songs. Let's do something fun. Like, what is an updated version of a fun Yellowcard song? And then you get a guy like Chris Carrabba that maybe wants to sing on a song, and then maybe performing a song that Vic from Pierce the Veil at When We're Young festival in front of like 60,000 people. So it's a lot to take in. It doesn't like feel uncomfortable because it's still like reminiscent of our history in the band and Warped Tour and sort of that like family, brotherhood, sisterhood vibe. We're very happy to have the support of other artists as well. Like, it's just so cool that, I mean, I was working a normal job at the time. Ryan's like, hey, I'm gonna go hang out with Vic and Jaime, and I was like, so jealous. I'm like, I want to rip with those
You're
dudes.
like, damn, I wish that were
so
me.
Awesome. And you know, what they came up with was magical, and you know, we performed it today as kind of a surprise in the set. And, you know, Pierce played right after us, and just to have those, they're just such kind, generous dudes with their time, and it's just awesome. So yes, new music, surprise, received well. Our hearts are, you know, kind of runneth over. They're very, very, very full.
And there's always like room for potentially more collabs as well. There might be in the works, it sounds like.
I mean, I think like I don't want to set the bar too high. I don't want to like kind of go out and like hunt for people to. It just, this run felt organic. Sent a couple texts, sent some songs around. What do you guys think? And then it kind of just happened. And we actually haven't really had a lot of that in our sort of discography. We had like an all-world one kind of happen in 2005, kind of right at the peak of Yellowcard, and Natalie Maines from the Dixie Chicks was recording, you know, they were recording nearby, and it was pretty good, kind of like off-brand and shocking, and she just, you know, just a one-of-a-kind talent. And so we've had a couple of different appearances, but like 5 songs, 2 collaborations, like it was just cool that we had people that wanted to help like a new chapter for Yellowcard.
Yeah.
We've noticed that like a lot of people who grew up listening to this music are now in like positions of power at companies. They're like, oh yeah, I'm a head of marketing. We want to work with you on something. And it's like, what? Why? But are you getting any collaborations outside of the music world? Like,
yeah, I just kind of share one with you.
Yeah.
Please.
We had a councilman present us with the key to the city.
Yes, we saw that earlier today.
I thought maybe it was like a segue into that, but like, I was showed this to some people. I was like, they're like, why do you get a key to the city? I was like, I have no idea.
Why not, honestly?
And I'm like, and so I just don't know. People are like, understand it's like kind of not really on brand. Like we don't, like we've had some recognition, but like a key to a city or a strip or, and I ran it by some cars and some like slot machines. It doesn't really work.
Okay, so it's just kind of like
looks
there.
like a paperweight. I
so
think.
it's not like you can just walk into a establishment when it's closed, be like, listen, I have the key to this whole city.
Everybody hands up. Key to the city.
Key to the city.
Like, don't worry, I'm coming through. I'm gonna be nice and be respectful.
This is a holdup.
Yeah. You just go, oh, I can go in here. I can unlock the door.
We're doing this.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, who are you? Be like, Ocean Avenue.
Yeah.
Have you heard of it? The great album?
Yeah. Las Vegas, you know, Road to the West, Persevere, all this Temperature, Yellowcard, Perseverance, 20 years of Ocean Avenue. It's the same.
Yeah. It's just like that. Now it's somebody who's like, I grew up with their music. I've loved it. It's meant so much to me. Here you go. Here's a key.
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
Yeah. It gets you anything you want in the city.
I would abuse that power if I had any of it. I'd be like, hey, I run a coffee company. Let's make a coffee with you.
Yeah.
I think when I get really, really, really elderly, like beyond, they're gonna be like, this guy he's kind of lost his marbles. Be like, I have a key to the city.
I have a key to the city.
You're gonna be like, no,
Yeah.
listen, at the
Yeah,
when,
I'm gonna go
when
back
we were young fest.
You guys don't understand. I
There's-
was in Vegas.
there's photo
this
evidence.
is mine. You're like, oh, this old guy is losing his mind.
Sure, Grandpa, let's get you to bed.
Like, oh, that
It's
is a
literally
real...
that meme.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay, sure.
Yeah. That's me.
This is going to be an off-topic question, but have you heard of this this emo orchestra thing that's happening?
Oh, yeah. They have some really talented musicians.
Yes, and I'm like, it makes the most sense that Yellowcard would be a part of that.
Haven't got an email across my desk yet, but yeah, it sounds great. Hawthorne Heights is, they do such cool stuff, and I looked at the dates, I was like,
Yeah.
it'd be a stretch to get to some of them, but I've listened to the songs.
And they're really good.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, we
They're-
just talked with them
they're doing cool
earlier
stuff.
this week, so we were like,
Yeah.
oh, like, this is really cool.
Very
like,
cool,
And
yeah.
they were like, oh, we'll just start to bring other bands on tour. And I'm like, what
Yeah.
other bands could do this?
It's Yellowcard.
We have written in some arrangement in a lot of our songs.
Yeah,
so.
you have a little bit of a string instrument going on.
yeah, you know, it's
Yeah.
kind of crazy how that just works.
Yeah, it'd be
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah. I could see how we would connect those dots.
Yes. Well, this has been awesome. We've been just gigantic fans of Yellowcard
Yeah.
for the longest time.
I will
Thank
say,
you.
my dad showed me Lights and Sounds, and that's what
Yeah.
really got me into the Yellowcard,
That's
because he
awesome.
loves you guys.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Dad.
Thanks, Dad.
Appreciate it.
So yeah, thank you so much, Sean, for hanging out with
Thanks,
us. This
y'all.
is incredible.
Hope you guys get to hear some songs and
Yeah.
get out
Yeah.
there in the sunlight and
A little bit.
melt away.
I don't mind being in the shade right now.
Yeah,
but,
we were in the sunlight a little bit earlier, and then we're
Yeah.
like, all right, let's come back in here.
It's warm, so I hope everyone's smart, drink some water. But thank you guys very much for
yeah.
your time.
Yes,
Thank you so
thank
much,
you so
man.
much.
Emo Social Club. We're here. We're live with games we play.
Hell yeah.
Out
Yeah.
here in Vegas at When We Were Young Fest.
Yes, I'm gonna win a lot of money tonight.
It's
Hell yeah.
time.
I asked for my guarantee in cash today.
Oh, there you go. There you
Yep.
go.
Yep.
So you're just dropping the whole thing at the casino.
100. I'm not dropping. I'm
Okay.
more so using it to make.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
and I'm saying make. I'm not saying like if.
Yeah.
You know.
I like the
That's
confidence.
that manifesting energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You played super early today.
I did. They gave me the lunchtime special.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We were probably still wwaiting in line to get our press credentials to
I
get
heard
into the
that.
fest.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were like, just go over here, and I'm like, okay, I don't know where, but we live here now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it went good. I'm assuming
my
it was
God.
the best out of the day.
It was.
Yeah.
And that's a fact.
Yeah.
The energy was up.
It was so good because my stage was right in front of the entrance.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. People came in, they saw me. I cover Mr. Brightside.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
okay, that'll get the
Hell
kids
yeah.
going.
That
Yeah.
usually gets people jumping over the gates to come in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, we have to go.
Yeah.
It's Mr.
Shit.
Brightside.
You're like, I don't know who's playing it, but I gotta be there.
Yeah.
Yep. So it was awesome. And for some reason, I don't know why, there was so many people singing my songs. It was very weird.
I mean, this seems like the fest for all these bands,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never played something like this though. Like
Yeah.
so concentrated pop punk.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. I did
Exactly.
see you open for Fall Out Boy at the Metro show, though.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got there early, and I was like, oh, like, let's check.
Yeah.
Let's check games we play out. Also,
Yeah.
I wanted to see Fall Out Boy too. So, and I thought it was a pretty solid set because I
Hell
was
yeah.
like, oh, I don't think you guys had ever come to Chicago at that point.
No. We played a place called the Beat Kitchen.
Yes.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. No, I remember. I couldn't go to that show either. But that was more like I had a conflict.
Yeah.
Whereas the Metro show, that sold out in like 10
Instantly.
minutes.
Yeah,
So,
I was able to get like one sliver of a ticket. I
Yeah.
actually had to fly out from here from Vegas the day of to
Really?
get to that show, and I
Really?
made it within like 40 minutes.
Damn. Holy shit.
we have a consistent problem with having to do things in Vegas
Yeah.
when we're in Chicago and in
Right.
Chicago when we're in Vegas.
Yeah, I understand.
That's the struggle that you have.
Yep.
I'm sure you get it. You know.
Yes.
Yes.
You opened for Fall Out Boy on their tour as well.
I did with Bring Me and also. Oh, sorry. I don't know why I blanked out on her name. She's like one of my closest friends, Royal and the Serpent.
Yep.
Nice, yeah.
Ryan, if you're watching, I'm very sorry.
We'll cut that. Cut that.
Yeah.
Cut it, off
Yeah.
record.
Yeah.
There was one video of you online. I think you like ran out and played in your underwear to start the set.
I did. I played a venue called Red Rocks, which,
Okay.
if you don't know what Red Rocks is, it's like the craziest, coolest venue in America.
Yeah.
Maybe in the world. I
It's-
don't know.
yeah.
I've heard a lot about it,
Yeah.
so I feel like that's a believable statement to make.
Yeah.
So I did that, and once I went out to play, I was like, okay, nobody gets this opportunity in life, like
Right.
to ever do this. So I need to do the most me possible thing, and we got on stage, and my bandmates and I, we took our pants off in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and that was opening
very
for all,
Blink 182.
oh, super.
Yeah.
That was opening for All Time Low and Mayday Parade.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah,
Okay. You've been on so many of these shows, so many of these big tours. I'm like, holy shit! Like,
I'm an unbelievably lucky person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
now, I mean, I think there's talent. I think there's more to it than just being lucky, but certainly,
Thank you.
It's part of it.
Thank you.
I mean, we found out about you two ways. One, our friend Johnny Minardi.
Okay.
And two, your collab with Hoodie Allen.
Yes.
Yeah.
We interviewed Hoodie Allen, and he's like, "Yeah, I got a collab coming out with Games We Play."
Hell
so,
yeah.
We've
all
been
came
hearing about
together.
you for a minute.
That collab was supposed to be with Mark Hoppus. Did he tell you that?
No.
No.
And I don't know what happened. And Hoodie thought I was the next coolest after Mark Hoppus. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
get
we
it.
can ask Mark Hoppus tonight, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna be like, "Wait, is that the guy who's second to me?"
It's cause him and Hoodie wrote the song.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then he
okay.
was looking for somebody, so he asked me.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a good song. It's a
Hell
good
yeah.
track.
Thank you. Thank you.
I
I say I wrote it every day.
Yeah.
But I didn't. Mark Hoppus
mean-
and Hoodie wrote it.
take credit.
It's fine. You know what? You performed the song, though.
Right.
And that's more than a lot of people can say.
Yes. Yeah.
Now the problem is we have you on record saying that, so we're gonna cut that too.
Yes.
This interview's
We'll
about to
bleep
be
it.
10 minutes long, but 5 minutes of cuts.
Yes.
What does 2024 look like for Games We Play at this record-breaking year you've already had? Like, how do you top that?
So I'm done for this year after
Okay.
this show. And I pretty much don't have anything until I go back out with Fall Out Boy in March.
Okay.
Yes.
Playing Madison Square Garden, which is pretty cool.
That's insane.
Then I have a U.S. headline
Nice.
immediately after, and my full-length record comes out.
Hell yeah.
Life's going great. And in Chicago, I'm coming to Cobra Lounge, I think is what it's
Nice.
called.
Yeah,
okay,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tiny little place.
Yeah.
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 It's a lot of energy in there.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm really excited. I want to play, like, I've done so much support. I want to go out and do the coolest headline tour ever.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They're smaller rooms. They're going to be packed. It's going to be great. I did a little glimpse of that when I played that place we were talking about, Bottom Lounge.
Yeah.
Wait, no.
Beat
Bee
Kitchen.
Kitchen.
Beat Kitchen.
They're both
A lot of
bees.
bees.
It's okay.
A lot of bees.
Yeah. It felt like that. It felt so tight and crammed at Bee Kitchen, and it was awesome. So we're going Cobra Lounge, and I don't know. I just want to take this new album everywhere.
Yeah.
So, like, I hope to go into Europe because I did a UK tour. So I want to do a UK tour, Europe tour, and then hopefully in the fall, like, land another pretty cool support tour.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Who do you have coming out with you on your headline tour?
I don't know
You
yet.
don't? Okay.
I really don't.
What's the dream lineup?
Yeah, what's the dream? Who are you really vibing with right now that you think would be a really good support opener
Okay.
for you?
So, I mean, like, out of 3 bands, because there's usually 3 bands on a show, I kind of want to give the first spot to locals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't know, growing up playing local music for so long, like, whenever a bigger band came in, like, I would have killed to open any of those
Yeah,
shows.
for sure.
So I'm going to do locals in every city, and then I'm really, really liking this band Super American, if you're
Okay.
familiar.
Yeah.
They're
Wow.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then maybe if they can't, I haven't talked to him yet, but if they can't, this band Young Culture is really cool too.
That's
Yeah.
our homies.
Yeah, buddies of ours.
Yeah.
I mean, now that we're putting it on record, now we just have to
We
tag
can
them
just
in
like
this.
DM
Yeah,
them
yeah,
real
go
quick, be
ahead.
like, hey,
Yeah.
what do you think?
Yeah.
This is manifesting a tour at the same time you're manifesting your casino wins tonight. So it's all
That's not a
happening.
manifestation. That's just speaking
That's
facts.
fact. Yeah,
Yeah,
It's
listen,
big
just
facts.
play like a Willie Nelson slot machine
Yep.
and you'll win some money. That's
Yeah.
how my friend usually wins her money at the
Yeah.
slot. So
Yeah, I'm like, I have little money right now, and I'm gonna spend it all to make more.
Yeah.
You know?
There you go.
I'm thinking in a very business mindset.
Yes. You have
Very
to spend money to make money.
investment
forward.
Yeah,
Yes.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
big business girly energy. We love to see it.
Yeah.
I play a different game. I don't gamble, so I play a different game when I go to casinos where I look at all the creatures or the people that are on the machines and I
Oh, yeah.
decide whether I'd hit it or not.
Okay.
I'd say 9 times out of 10 would.
Would.
They got some like hot animals in there, and I
Yeah.
say that in a very normal way.
Oh, no.
Okay.
But it's just like, damn, like they didn't have to do the wolf like that.
Got it.
These bison are like,
Got it.
Yeah.
I feel the same way.
but like if you were like looking at a machine and you're like, I would definitely hit that.
Yeah.
I got to play that machine, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like
I
that's
thought,
how you.
I thought when you were saying animals, you were like the people gambling.
Oh no.
Oh, wow.
And then I was like, wow, the majority of like the people gambling are like 60-year-old men
Yeah,
probably.
yeah.
And I was like, I'd hit it 9 times out of 10. I was like, all
You're
right.
like, damn,
all right.
all right.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
he's in his gold digger era, okay?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
it's
okay.
fine.
If they're winning, I'm talking.
Yeah,
you know.
if he was a gold digger, he'd go with me.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh,
Yeah.
true.
I'm going to be looking for you at the casino later, just like kind of like peeking around
Just like,
machines,
hey.
see what happens.
Yes.
Be like, hey, remember me from earlier? Like,
Yeah.
oh, looks like you're winning. Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
He
well,
brings over the drinks. He's like, now
yeah.
listen.
Oh, let's get some drinks over here. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Well then, well, yeah, you got tomorrow when we were young, and
Yep.
and
And then I am going to go to the gym for a long time.
Okay.
I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to take singing lessons.
Damn.
And then when I'm back, I'm going to be a hot hunk who could sing
yeah,
with an album.
With a whole ass
a-
album.
an
Yeah.
album.
Yeah.
that's good. Well,
I'm,
yeah,
I'm really excited.
Yeah, is there anything else we should be looking out for you for anything, or just hot money games we play on the horizon?
I was talking to my pops about trashing the album that I'm promoting right now. And
Okay.
just making a country album.
Okay,
That might come out.
Okay.
can
But
you do both?
But here's the thing. Would you
Maybe.
do country mixed with like butt rock?
No.
No?
So
Just straight
no,
country.
just-
Okay.
Kind of like a Florida Georgia line kind of situation.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Trash life's going great and and maybe it can be like life's going cowboy.
Yeah.
Okay. You can't cowboy before anything, so
It would just go so good. Like I just know it would do fucking numbers,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It might be worth doing.
That's why I was thinking it's a business
Yeah,
business
yeah.
decision.
Yeah.
Country. Pop punk's out.
now
Pop punk is
absolutely
good.
have you ran this by Mr. Peter Wentz, who I'm assuming would probably say maybe.
What would Pete think about this? He would be like, I don't think he would respond to that text.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'd be
Thought you
like,
were
so sorry,
joking."
I'm on tour right now.
Yeah. Thought you were kidding. Didn't respond.
I send a lot of stupid ideas.
Yeah.
A lot. And like when it's good, I'll be like, a lot of people respond and they'll be like, this is great. But a lot of the time, people don't like what I'm saying. Yeah.
Well, we also talked with Car, who you've also
Sick.
been on the same floor
Yeah, I love
with,
her.
and we were also doing like brainstorm sessions. She was like, "Now, what if I actually just like put my foot on someone's face, and that's like
Yeah.
a VIP experience?" I'm like, "Listen, it could
It's
happen."
the brainstorming pod. We come up with ideas here.
Yeah. I feel like there's a person who would like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that feels like a very Car thing to say.
It,
Yes.
it was a very
Yes.
Car thing.
Is
to
she
say.
here at this festival or no?
No.
Okay.
I mean, maybe she's hanging out. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she might. I don't know.
Yeah.
Her record just came out. She's probably like, yeah, whatever.
It's great.
I'll just be around.
Yeah, I know
There's
it's
a-
really good.
There's a song called I Like Dogs on it, and
Yeah.
I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just, look, it's pandering in all the right ways. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah, thanks
this
for
was
having me.
awesome. We look forward to all of your success in the future.
Hell
tonight
yeah.
at the casino,
And catch my set tomorrow.
and catch us at.
Yes.
Well,
They missed it today.
we
If we can sneak in tomorrow.
yeah, we're gonna pop the fence for Mr. Brightside. That's what's
Got
gonna
it.
happen.
Yeah, Mr. Brightside gonna come, haul ass over the
Yeah.
fence.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
the little emo energy inside of everybody,
Yeah.
it just like ascends us all over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we got arrested so fast. Well, yeah. Games we play when we were
Yeah.
young. Thank you so much
And
for
then
hanging
thank
out
you
with
so
us.
much.
Thanks, guys.
Hell yeah.
course.
When we were young, Emo Social Club. We're here. We're live with Tiger's Jaw in the press tent. We were just talking about how we've all met. I think it was like
Previously.
2019, maybe.
No, it was post.
No, it was
post-
post-pandemic.
Oh,
Yeah.
Damn.
It was like February of 2022.
That-
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
might
that
track.
sounds about right.
Yeah,
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 because
yeah.
I
Yeah, in
remember we
Chicago.
were still trying to figure out like how are we gonna do this, and like well, this is like one of the first guests we have back. Let's
Yeah.
figure it out.
Well, yeah, because we had a tour that got canceled, where we were supporting another band, and then our booking agent I don't know, did some Superman moves, and booked an entire tour that started 2 weeks later, and just really saved us because
Oh,
we had
yeah.
we've been building up to this, finally doing this big tour after COVID and things opening back up, and y'all were gracious enough to shift everything around and let us perform that night, and then let us be a part of the emo night as well.
Yeah.
It was sweet. It was really fun.
So much fun.
That was a blast that
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
I just remember the bottle of Jameson. That's the main thing I remember of that night.
Surprise.
I feel like that's a
Yeah.
consistent thing with a lot of our guests is that there's always a bottle of something, but more often than not it's JMO,
Yeah.
and then we're like, oh, how is this gonna go down? And usually it's pretty good.
It's a blast.
Yeah. was,
It's just
it was great.
the majority of us like it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gets you where you want to go. If
can.
where you want to go is When We Were Young Fest, transition.
Yeah, here
Perfect.
we are.
Perfect.
He's starting to learn the transition process. So happy for him.
So yeah, you're at When We Were Young Fest. I know you played earlier. You played right after Michelle Branch.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
that's
You're
awesome.
telling me. I've sang her songs at karaoke
Yes.
before.
She's awesome.
Yeah, we were behind the wall, so it's a circular stage.
Yeah.
So when
Yeah.
one band finishes, it rotates. So we were behind the wall, and her band was just crushing it on the other side of the wall while we were like setting up our stuff.
You're like, oh God, I'm singing every word. God.
You're like,
Oh,
damn.
I snuck around to see
Yeah.
her
Yeah.
at least a couple times.
He's be like, hey, Michelle, let me in.
If you want to. Yeah. And unfortunately, we had to rush back here to do an interview. So how was your set? Because I know it was great, but how was it?
Hot.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But fun. Like, I don't want the heat to deter from because like everyone's dealing with that here. We're all dealing with it.
Oh,
Yes.
everyone who's out in the crowd was dealing with it just as much as us, and that means so much. Like,
Yeah.
we were up there like fighting for our lives with the heat, but everybody else is out there,
Yeah,
like watching
same.
our band play. That's the coolest thing. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, this festival is so sick, and this lineup is amazing, and yeah,
It's crazy.
We're so stoked to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we were watching Michelle Branch, this nice UK guy came up to us and he was like, "Are you gonna see Tiger John?" We're like, "Unfortunately, we're about to miss
We
him, but we're
actually
gonna
have to run
interview him
back
later."
to go talk to them. He's like, what?
Well, we can just like hang out, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's been weird. I don't remember if you guys wouldn't have done Warped Tour at all, did you?
No, we never
We
did.
somehow never did it.
Yeah. Does it
Like
feel
our
like?
friends did, but like we never did. I think
Okay.
one of the reasons why we never did was our friends did, and they were like, "Don't do it."
Oh,
Don't do
okay.
this.
Yeah.
They were like, please skip it.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's I loved growing up going to Warped Tour, but like it's so much work to put on something like this
Yeah.
Yeah. And it-
every day in a different city, and like it's so grueling for like every person. So we were like, yeah.
Yes, if you're in a van too and you're like chasing the tour,
Yeah.
the drives are all insane and you got to load in so early and everything. I mean, but nothing like that's how festivals have to work, and that's awesome. But for some reason, yeah, we just never did it back in the day.
So this is like the.
This is your
The
fest
option.
now.
Yeah.
This is your
My
Warped Tour.
Warped
Yeah.
Tour.
Yeah.
Minus all
We're
the crazy
We're
chasing.
cramming all of the Warped Tours that we missed into
Yes.
into 48 hours.
Now, how many bands are you about to go run back and forth to? Is going to be the real question to give you the pure Warped Tour vibe.
Yeah.
Many. The stages are so far away though that you have to be really strategic. Last year I came and I watched like Pierce the Veil, then A Day to Remember, then Bring Me the Horizon, so I could be front row for Paramore, and then watch my like it's like you got to either post up or like really book it from stage to stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I guess like, I don't really remember doing that at Warped Tour, but maybe it's like all the
Well, it
bands I wanted to see.
depends on when, or I'm sorry, not when, but where you went to
Yeah.
Warped Tour too,
Yeah.
because every Warped Tour was at a different
Like layout plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I remember, ours was always at the Montage Mountain, like amphitheater thing, whatever.
Yeah.
And I remember there were always two stages that you had to like go so far and down up a hill and then down a hill, and then they were at the bottom. I remember like the early November was playing at one. Oh, there were actually three, but yeah, it's just like it was a trek kind of.
Yeah.
But this is a trek and a half.
This is a track and a half. It's just a slog in the heat.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah.
there's. Look, we said this last year. It's a festival of lines. There's just lines everywhere, and you're trying to like,
Everything.
bustle through, and everyone's trying to bustle through. It's a festival of bustle. It's a bustle fest.
Bustle Fest. Yeah.
We get to see some real cool bands.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Exactly.
And also like some really cool bands like you guys. You guys also just did a cover of Joyce Manor and vice versa,
We
which you
did.
don't really see happen
Yeah.
too often.
Yeah. I mean, in the early days of the band, we did a bunch of splits with different bands, and a bunch of our friends' bands would do splits with other bands. It was way more commonplace. And a couple years ago, we were supposed to play in Central Park with Joyce Manor. It got rescheduled, and we couldn't do the makeup date, so they covered one of our songs for the crowd that was there, and
they
it
did a
was awesome.
Damn good job.
Yeah. Oh, they crushed
And
it.
they recorded it.
And they recorded it, and it sounds awesome, and it really captured like the passion and the energy of it, and it's really really
It also
great.
just feels like Joyce Manor. It's so good.
Yeah. So they were like, hey, we've been sitting on this recording for a while. Like, we kind of want to release it. Do you want to do something with that? And we were like, yeah. we'll cover one of your songs, put it out on a 7-inch, and it'll be great. And then, so it came out this week, and we did a couple shows with them. So Barry came out during our set and sang a little bit with us, and then we came out during their set and sang with them. So it was like kind of perfect timing for everything, and it was really nice.
Now, did you get to pick the song that you wanted to cover, or did they pick it for you?
We picked.
We
Okay.
picked, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I was like, okay, if you're doing Ice Hot Water, we're doing Constant Headache.
It only makes sense.
It only makes sense.
Yeah.
True.
So now you've done the cover. Is there new music for Tiger's Jaw coming soon, or is this?
We're working on it.
Yeah, we're trying not to rush it, but yeah, there will be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2024 looking ahead.
Probably, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been, jamming some new ideas and stuff and just kind of taking our time with it so it
A
doesn't.
lot of life has happened too.
That's true.
Yeah.
A lot of life.
Yeah.
You got married since the last time we saw you,
I
so
did.
that's life.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Look at
congrats.
that.
Thank you.
So
Yeah.
a lot of life is happening.
Yeah.
So
That
I'm
was
like,
a big thing to happen this year.
yes.
Yeah.
I always see like bands like, you have a life to live, but then it's like, yeah, we have new music coming out next year. It's like, when? How? Like, where do you find time?
So you just planned a whole ass wedding. I was just
Yeah.
helping my friend like do her wedding last weekend. I'm like, this is too much, girl. And
Yeah.
she took 2.5 years, and I'm like, you're my last friend to get married. That's it. You're done.
Yeah, I'm about to be a bridesmaid in one of my best friend's weddings, and it's all so much work.
Yeah.
But
Life
it's
comes at you
worth
fast.
It. It's so worth it.
Yeah.
Love
It's fun in the
rocks.
end, trust me. Yeah, because I was also a bridesmaid. I was like, this is fun.
Yeah.
This is cool. But then like
It
you
is.
got other
And it's
stuff that
like
happens.
You're paying it forward to your friends that you hope like you'll still like them enough that they'll
Yeah.
be your wedding.
Is there like the conflict of like, they ask you to be the bridesmaid and you're like, oh my gosh, thank you.
That sort of happened with my sister-in-laws. I loved both of my sister-in-laws, but I didn't really know them as well. But my brothers are best friends, so they were each other's like, man of honor, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
Best man.
Best man.
Best
I mean,
man.
man, it kind of goes.
Yeah.
The best boy.
But
Best
now
boy.
I'm so grateful that I was in their weddings because it was an opportunity for us to be closer. But it was kind of like, I'm about to be in this thing. I don't know any of your friends. We're all going to become friends, and it's going to be great.
And that's the correct vibe to have.
Yes.
You gotta
Life is a highway.
Yeah.
You got to ride it.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, that's what Rascal Flatts said.
Exactly.
And Cars. So.
When is
Yeah.
Tiger's Jaw covering Rascal Flatts?
Probably sooner than you think.
Probably.
Oh, hell yeah.
Probably right now.
Bits and pieces at most of our band practices.
Most
Yeah.
of them. That and like the Home Depot theme song.
Yeah, we played the
Oh my
Home
God.
Depot theme song. to
Okay,
warm up
that's
a little
pretty
bit.
hard.
Yeah, it's a good riff.
Yeah.
Now I'm like thinking of the Home Depot theme song, and I'm like,
I mean, it's big on TikTok. You
Don't
got to get
think
it in
about
with
it.
the
Is it
kids.
really?
Don't
It
think
is,
about it because
yeah.
it'll get stuck in your head for way
It
too
go
long.
on forever.
Yeah.
Honestly, it
At
never.
some
I don't
practices,
think it
has
does
gone
end.
Forever.
sometimes when people say this is big on TikTok, I'm like, I don't want to ever go on TikTok again if that's what's big on TikTok. Like, it's already just
I love it and I hate it.
yeah, it's disastrous.
I love to consume it, but I hate participating. It's so hard.
Yeah.
It's the first. It makes me feel like geriatric. It's the first
Yes.
form of social media where I feel like I don't get it. Like
Yes.
I get it when I'm watching them, but to do them, I'm like, this is so much work. and like I have friends that are like Gen Z that are like beep boop beep boop fit check like whatever, and I'm like, oh my god, how'd you just like.
You just
the
put that together in your
confidence,
head
I
and
don't
then did
know.
it,
I
and
think
you
there's
knew it was
also
cringe, but you
something
did it
with,
anyway.
Something with like being able to talk to the phone as though
Mm.
it
It's
is
like a
the
person.
Yeah,
My husband always says, just talk to it like it's your friends, and I was like, it's not my friend, it's my cell phone.
it's a screen in front of me.
It's my nemesis.
It's
Yeah.
literally
It's my nemesis.
me. It is like the digital version of myself looking back at me. That's terrifying.
I feel like that's a Black Mirror episode.
Yeah.
If anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Tiger's Jaw in a Black Mirror episode.
Let's go.
Let's
I
go.
love last season.
I haven't seen the last
Yeah.
season yet.
Oh, you have to watch. You'll like it. If you like Black Mirror at
No,
all,
I do
you'll
like
Yeah.
Black Mirror. Me and my best friend usually watch it together, and our schedule, she's a stagehand, and then like we do a bunch of other shit like this. So I'm like, when are we gonna hang out and watch the rest of Black Mirror?
Yeah. It's always tough when you're watching with a friend, but worth it.
Yeah. We don't need to talk about not your music anymore. This is how it always happens, and this is why I wanted to have you on the pod earlier, because we like sat around all that night, like just chatting and hanging out, and it's like we should be recording this.
Well,
Yeah.
you didn't want to lug those heavy microphones around that night.
I did.
So, yeah.
I didn't think about it.
Stairs.
Yeah.
Like now, like every time we have a guest, I'm like, we should just bring the microphones, like whatever.
Yeah.
And it's hearing like fucking My Chemical Romance playing off the speakers really loud downstairs, and we're just like, so on your last record, how did that feel to like?
So just tell me a little bit more about
Like
this.
what? I can't. What? Sugar, we're going down is playing. I can't hear you. Every time. Are you going to? Well, are you going to come back to Chicago to do emo night with us again? And are you going to emo night here while you're in town?
Ooh.
Oh, well, Chicago, if you'll have us back.
Yeah,
I mean,
if
anytime.
We'll have you
us,
back.
We'll always
that would be a
come.
blast.
I believe Morgan has said like you're one of his favorite bands, so I don't think
We
there's
love
a.
Morgan.
I don't think there's an argument
We love
there.
Morgan.
What a sweetheart.
I tried to go to emo night last year. It didn't work out. It was just like a mix-up of a whole bunch of hullabaloo, and I was so upset because all I wanted was to go to emo night.
Yeah.
But
Well, I walked out of our hotel yesterday and just saw a giant Morgan
Yes.
just up on the,
Right.
the full wall.
Which is
And you're
so
like,
funny.
look at them.
I was like, oh my
They are
god.
freaking out about it too.
Yeah,
It's so
crazy.
funny.
It's awesome.
They just did Lollapalooza with me,
Yeah.
and they were gracious enough to give me a pass, and I was backstage with them hanging out, and Shaquille O'Neal walks by all of a sudden, and Nat from 303, who was like 7.5 feet tall, is looking at Shaq like almost in the eyes, and he's
Yeah.
like, "You got to take a photo with our friend," and then Morgan walks up, and there's a photo of them together. It's just
That's
like
too
so
perfect.
funny, yeah.
That's amazing.
Well, I hope we have you back. I hope you guys come back to Chicago
Yeah.
and we have you at emo night again. Let's
Yeah.
do a double feature like last time.
Yeah, that was really fun.
Yeah.
I love a 1-2 punch.
Yeah, it's all in one. You just kind of live in that venue for that day, but it's okay because we're all just hanging and vibing.
I even did my makeup that night, like my
Yeah.
Chemical Romance.
Yes, I remember.
I'll do it again.
And we took some photos, like,
Yeah.
Yep.
some,
Oh,
like,
I
there we
remember,
go.
yeah.
yeah, the angle.
That was a good time. I look back at that night very fondly.
Me too, honestly.
Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with
thank you
us.
guys.
Finally coming
Thanks
on the
for
pod.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
I hope we can do it again when it's not at a fest and we can do it a little longer and hang out because
I know, we could chat forever, I feel.
Yeah.
I'll tell one more story before we end this.
Yeah.
So I think it was Riot. Did you play Riot Fest last year?
No.
Have you played Riot?
We only played Riot Fest in 2016.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay, yeah.
There was like one year I was like talking about it and I was saying like, oh yeah, like to my therapist, Tiger's Jaw, yeah. She was wearing the T-shirt. She was wearing one of your T-shirts, and I was like, oh yeah. I just met them the other night. Like they were rad. And she's like, I love them, and let's talk about something else. And I was like, perfect. Let's do
Conflict
it.
of interest.
Conflict
Be
of
like,
interest.
"It's okay."
Because now
To
I want
music.
to get to know how they were and all about them. And I'm like, well, I don't think we can do that because of
Someone
conflict of
from work
interest.
the other day came in that was picking up for a high school. I work at a screen printing place, and I had mentioned that, oh, well, my band gets our merchandise printed here, and he goes, what band? And I said, Tiger Jaw, and he went, shut up. And it was just like this older, I mean, we're getting older too, but I was like, damn, like you like our band. It was shocking, but cool.
Yeah.
They're out there, man.
Sometimes it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're in these professions, and you're like, cool.
You're like, damn, that's
Anyway.
so crazy.
It's for everyone.
Tiger's Jaw's
Sure.
for
For
everyone.
Everybody, yeah.
For everyone.
And I hope everyone, goes and checks out Tiger's Jaw. And thank you guys so much for hanging out with us
thank you.
today.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
When we got an email from you, I was like, Lizzie.
Yeah, I forgot what I was
Lizzie.
doing. I think I might have been teaching a
Aw.
class, and then I was like, what do you mean, Cassadee Pope? I opened it, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
We were
that.
freaking out.
That's nice. Thanks.
I'll do a quick intro. Emo Social Club. We're live at When We Were Young Fest with Cassadee Pope.
Yeah.
Hi.
It's so cool. This is just so
Surprise
fucking
guest
It's
cool.
cool for me too.
Weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, I literally snuck in basically.
I love that.
I
It was beautiful.
like,
Yeah.
I don't have a pass. I thought I was gonna have a pass. I got in by the skin of my teeth.
Yeah.
Went on stage with Yellowcard, and now I'm here.
Yeah.
I
There
don't
we
know what
go.
happened.
You say you don't have any pull for us, which yes, of course,
fair,
of course
it
not,
does.
of course
I mean,
not.
I might
but
be
you have
able
pull
to
for
help. I don't-
yourself.
You know what? It was an interesting day, but we're here. I think it's just like I was gonna be here anyway. I was playing a sideshow last night, and I texted guys that I'm friends with in band and girls. Michelle is a friend too. And
Yes.
Like I'm gonna be there. Like if you want me to pop up, I'm down. And Yellowcard said yes, and Simple Plan was like, come on up.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, great. And then I was like, oh, I need passes. And so that was
Right.
an afterthought.
How do
My
I get
bad.
in?
I mean, I feel like we could walk up and be like, hey, I'm Cassadee Pope. Just let me in.
Oh, no, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. They don't care back there. They're just
Yeah.
doing their job. But
They're
no,
like, no.
it was genuinely, it was fine. It was just it's a lot of people out there trying to get in, you know. So it was a little crazy, but we're here.
You already played with Yellowcard then today.
I did.
How was the set? How was the reception?
It was so cool. I got to sing Only One with them, which is my favorite
God.
Yellowcard song.
Yes.
And I toured with them a couple times back in the day with Hey Monday, so I love those guys, and we've stayed in touch over the years. I just did the Emo's Not Dead cruise with Ryan last year, and love that they're back with the whole lineup and that they're killing it. It was emotional seeing them in front of that crowd and just back in full swing. It's just really cool, and I love those guys so much.
That's
so
awesome.
It was cool.
That's awesome. It's also really good to see you back too, especially obviously you've been in the country world, and I remember watching you on The Voice because me and my siblings.
Oh God, yeah.
I was like, wait, I know her from this band, and they were like, no, she does country music, and I'm like, wait a second,
No.
what's going on?
You're like, it's the same person.
I was like, no, it's the same. I was like,
I know, it's weird.
but you've come back with getting back into like the pop punk scene. So what kind of like generated that for you?
It was really gradual. During 2020, obviously, we all had that kind of reflective kind of experience, and just sitting back and thinking about things that make me happy, and it's pop punk music, and I love country music, but it's like it was moving more towards the traditional stuff that I'm not that big of a fan of. I love the poppier stuff.
Sure.
And just hearing, like, I was writing this pop punk country record in 2020, and then 2020 was when MGK released his record, and I was like, wait, this is coming back? Like, and I know it never went away technically, but it was like coming back in a mainstream sort of way.
Yep.
And I was like, that's cool. Like, I feel validated that I'm writing this album right now. So I released that album at the end of 2021, and it was really fun and a great experience. Didn't go as well as I had hoped, but it was a really important and necessary experience to make me realize I think I just need to do it full force and not hold on to that country thing that I've been doing for 10 years because I'm afraid to give up on it. Like, this is where my heart is calling me, and I just went with it, and I'm so happy I did because it's been amazing.
How has your country fans like been receiving it? Because I know like usually sometimes there's like a good crossover to an extent.
Yeah, I think there's a crossover. I'm sure that there are some people that are not into it, but to be honest, I've seen more growth in my numbers. I hate saying that, but I've seen more growth, so I don't know if they're like falling off, but more people are coming on, or if they're staying on and people are coming on. I literally have no idea. And if they don't dig it, they're not trolling me in my comments, thankfully. So
that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I think it's okay. I think it's fine.
I think that Hey Monday obviously has had a bit of numbers from, I'm assuming, TikTok and the resurgence of everything. I'm not on TikTok, so I don't know. I just am like, hey, I was a fan in the day, and I'm a fan now. I don't care.
I love that.
We were doing like streams, Twitch streams during the pandemic, and
Yeah.
I would always make sure to play there aren't a lot of women in the scene, obviously, and there needs to be more like prominence to all the women that are doing this stuff. So we were like, we're playing Hey Monday. Everyone needs to hear this song, Homecoming. And we just like started making everybody like listen to it all the time.
Oh,
and even more recently, we do Emo Night LA. With
Nice.
no
In
competition.
Chicago.
Yeah, in Chicago.
I'd never done Chicago, but I just did LA for the first
Yes.
time, and I was like,
Yes.
amazing.
Well, come to Chicago.
Yeah, come to
We'll
Chicago because
gladly
we'll be
have you.
there.
Hell yeah, I will.
But every time we play it, like it goes off. Like the kids
Oh,
are loving it. So
really?
it's like,
Yeah.
it's
That's so nice.
and it feels good for me as like an older person who's just like, yes, you get it, finally.
Well, it was such a snapshot in time. We were only a band for like 5 years, and
Yeah.
people don't realize, like, it wasn't like we had grinded it out for 10 years and then we finally had this big break. We were like signed so quickly to a major label and got to tour with these big bands, and we kind of skipped the whole building period, which was kind of our demise, honestly, because a lot of bands that did that groundwork and like paved the way for themselves for a long time had that loyal fan base that just like stuck around no matter what, and we kind of skipped that, and we poached fans from other bands, but that's a little different, to be honest. So I think that's where we kind of did things backwards, but it means so much. Like anytime I mention Hey Monday or post about Hey Monday, that people are still excited and dug us, you know. It means a lot.
Oh yeah.
It's still, I mean, it still goes off. Glamour Kills is still also popular.
Oh my God.
We got to bring that back.
The flying pigs.
Yep.
Oh.
It's like I can't watch that video and not go, I had that shirt. I had that shirt.
No, all of our music videos were like sponsored by Glamour
Yeah.
Kills. I mean, not really,
it was
but
definitely like a time
It was
to
a
be
time.
alive.
I know. And the big, colorful shoes.
Yes.
I actually had, I don't know, I mean, this is so random, but I had like a custom shoe with Macbeth
Yeah.
that were
Oh, wow.
purple and leopard print.
That goes kind of hard though.
It was
That's fashion.
obnoxious. And like some people still have theirs and they wear it to my shows sometimes.
Oh my
and I'm just
God.
like, they're great on you, but
I
like,
would love to
kudos.
forget.
Yeah.
Kudos for pulling this off. It's a look.
That's coming back. The style, I mean, obviously
The
we're at.
Osiris's are coming back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Big time. I had some friends who were like, "Did you see these Osiris's are on sale?" I'm like,
What
do you
year
mean
is
they're
it?
back?
Yeah.
First of all, let's address this right now.
Wait, what's happening?
What year is
Yeah.
it?
I
It's so
know.
weird. And
It's
looking at
trippy.
like all the artwork for this fest and seeing all this stuff, it's
Yeah.
like, what are you doing? What
I
are you're
know.
doing all the same old stuff.
Yeah, just bringing it back.
It's
Cassette
great.
tapes are coming back.
Ugh.
VHSs. You can't
Yeah.
use them, but they're just like
Collectors,
collectibles.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're just there.
Yeah.
I don't have a vinyl player either, so I guess everything's just collectible.
Oh, right. You gotta get
He
it.
has a couple like records.
I've been
and
buying records. I've been buying
You
records.
gotta get a vinyl player. You
I
gotta
know.
get
That's what I've been telling him because I have a record player. I'm still trying to set it up though, get the speakers all together. I just moved, but I'm like,
Yeah.
you have
I know.
records,
I'm just
and I'm like,
collecting it.
dude.
I've
Yeah,
thought
it's-
I've thought to myself like, what are the records I need to own, right? And like the rarities and all that, but it's like, no, I want this record that means a lot to me on vinyl that I could potentially one day display.
Yeah.
So whenever there's like a special edition or a limited edition, I'm like, okay, that's a record I really like or a band I really like. I'm gonna get that.
Yeah,
And just
smart.
have it. And then I'm like, one day.
Yeah.
But then you're like, you know, you get the deal on like Panic at the Disco, and you're like,
Wow.
I mean, I'm gonna get it because it's the new record and like whatever. And I love Panic at the Disco, but this
Yeah.
may not be the record.
It might not be the one to splurge on.
Yeah,
Right.
that's how you kind of run out the collection though. You're like, oh, I got the discography,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're not always going to put on a record and then like lay down on your floor and like have emotions to it. Sometimes you're just going to be like, it's here and it's getting me through
Yeah.
like cleaning the house.
Yeah, it's a nice kind of like background music situation sometimes.
Yes. Yeah.
Which
Because you have to focus on it.
matters.
You have
Yeah.
to spend time with it.
Agreed.
You have to like
Nurture
listen.
it.
You have to really listen.
Yes, it's very sophisticated.
Yes. So you played these two sets today, and tomorrow, I guess too.
Yes. Yeah.
Uh,
Today it's just Yellowcard, and then tomorrow I think I'm going up with Yellowcard again because on
Okay.
stage Ryan was like, "Tomorrow?" I was like, "Sure."
Yeah.
And then Simple Plan tomorrow.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Awesome.
It'll
Do you
be
know
fun.
what song you're doing with Simple Plan?
I believe I'm doing "I'm Just a Kid,"
oh,
Tight.
and it's the last song in their set, so it'll be a party.
Yeah,
I
tight.
saw them when they did their Sum 41 tour in Chicago.
Yes.
And they ended with that, and I just like looked at my friends after we were like in the pit, like beating each other up, and I'm like, "Hey, homie, I'm not okay right now."
What am I doing here?
Yeah.
What am I
was like-
doing in this
I was like,
pit?
"We gotta go home after this." Like,
Where am I supposed to be?
Everything hurts more now. It's different these days in the pit.
So should we be looking forward to being in the pit at a Cassadee Pope show sometime soon?
I hope so. I'm working on some stuff for next year. Obviously, you know, I think it's an interesting time for women in this genre.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of amazing women in
Yes.
pop punk and in rock, and it's my dream to have an all-female tour. So
Hell yeah.
that'd be so sad.
I have talked to my agents about putting something together for next year. It would be a really amazing accomplishment to get that done. So that's my big goal for next year, to get like an all-female lineup, whether it's rotating or it's just like a really long show
Yeah.
that starts at like 5 p.m.
Bring back the 7-band bill.
I
Yeah.
know.
Oh my God.
I know.
Oh
Wow,
my
those
God,
are
no.
so fun. Hey Monday would be done at like 6. It'd be
Yeah.
great.
The rest
Because
of the
we're
day.
always first.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a goal of mine. So hopefully that happens next year. And I've pitched and submitted for some tours that I'm excited about. We'll see if it happens,
Yeah.
but hopefully.
Awesome.
What would be your dream lineup for the all-female tour?
Definitely me, Taylor Acorn, Charlotte Sands,
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Royal and Serpent, Pale Waves,
Ooh.
Honey Revenge.
Ooh, yes, Honey
Can't-
Revenge.
You say
Honey
pale waves
Revenge.
around me. I'm like, ooh, yes.
I know.
I fucking love pale
oh,
waves.
so yummy. I love the reduction is just like dreamy.
Yes.
Well, I have a whole list in my phone, so if I'm forgetting anyone, it's not that I have it written down, but
Yes.
that just for starters, that would be sick.
It's a
yeah.
good thing to have a long list of women in rock music in 2023.
There's a lot of us.
There's
Yeah.
so many out there. Like,
Yes.
I was like thinking, I'm like, oh, I know like 5 like female
Yeah.
bands. Like right now, I'd be
Yeah.
like, this would work. This
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many. It's just giving them the opportunities that all the dudes get.
Yep.
We just got to be better at that.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I agree.
hopefully I can help there in that department next year. We'll see.
Well, we'll be there. We'll be looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Bring
Thank
it to
you.
Chicago. We'll
Yay.
host you anytime.
Thank you.
Yeah.
sure.
And thank you so much for
Yeah,
hanging
thank
out with
you.
us. We're looking
Thank
forward to
you.
everything, and great
Thanks
to
for
meet you
having
and great to
me.
hang out with you.
You too.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it.